गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीबॉडी। काफी टाइम बाद मिल रहे हैं क्लास के लिए। एज आई प्रॉमिस्ड कि स्टार्ट विद भारतीय नागरिक सुरक्षा संहिता 2023 classes, but because of being my busy schedule, I'm not able to take the regular classes of you or people. Therefore, I've decided to upload my classes whenever I will take the time, whenever I get the time. I will create a video class for you people and upload on the YouTube channel, and thereby will try to provide you maximum uh, information and the classes which is needed for Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sahita. So this is my first lecture series. This is the first lecture, basically in a lecture series and of BNSS. इस lecture series के अंदर we will try to bring all those factors which used to exist in our class, live class. So I will not try to make this series as if I am making it for YouTube channel. जैसे हम क्लास में करते थे, जैसा हम क्लास करते थे वैसे ही करेंगे। बस एक छोटी सी चीज जो मिसिंग रहेगी वो ये कि हम डायरेक्टली एक दूसरे से बात नहीं कर पाएंगे। और बिकॉज इतने सारे लोग हैं, सबको क्लासेस करनी है, टाइम स्केड्यूल सबके साथ मैच नहीं बैठ रहा है, और मेरा भी थोड़ा सा बिजी शेड्यूल हो गया। बट यस, आप यूट्यूब पे ये क्लासेस रहेंगी। एक पूरा प्लेलिस्ट डाला है मैंने, भारतीय नागरिक सुरक्षा संहिता 2025 करके प्लेलिस्ट है। उसमें लेक्चर 1 2 3 करके यू हैव ऑल द कंप्लीट प्लेलिस्ट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल। फिर ये जो प्लेलिस्ट है इसको मैं रेगुलर अपडेट करूंगा। मोस्ट प्रोबेबली हर रोज शाम को 6 से 7 के बीच में ये वीडियो अपलोड हो जाया करेगी आप लोगों के लिए। जिसको भी पिछली क्लास का कोई भी क्वेश्चन होगा, वैसे तो मेरा नंबर सबके पास है, यू कैन डायरेक्टली मैसेज मी ऑल्सो। बट अगर नहीं भी मैसेज किया तो यू लीव अ कमेंट ऑन द वीडियो, और मैं उसको रीड करके मैं श्योर करूंगा कि नेक्स्ट लेक्चर सीरीज में मैं स्टार्टिंग में जैसे हम क्लास में करते थे उस डाउट को क्लियरेंस करें। तो इससे दो चीजें होंगी। एक तो जो प्रीवियस एलुमनाइज हैं उनको भी बेनिफिट होगा, जो प्रेजेंट स्टूडेंट्स हैं उनको भी बेनिफिट होगा, और जो जिया जुडिशियल से बाहर है उनका बहुत लगातार कॉल आ रहा है कि सर क्लासेस कीजिए, उनको भी बेनिफिट होगा। तो पूरी सीरीज को हम जैसे पैटर्न करते हैं उसी पैटर्न में चलाएंगे। तो जैसे हम क्लास में लेक्चर किया करते थे उसी लेक्चर से विल स्टार्ट। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट एज वी डू द क्लास। तो वैसे ही शुरू करने की कोशिश करते हैं। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट भारतीय, तो वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी भारतीय नागरिक सुरक्षा संहिता बेसिकली। तो जस्ट होल्ड ऑन। BNSS, as this is, BNSS means भारतीय नागरिक सुरक्षा संहिता। BNSS 1043. As we know, this thing has replaced CRPC. So older CRPC, 1973 CRPC Criminal Procedural Code has been brought up with some changes, some ideal changes into the skeleton of the act, and the new law was incorporated in 2023. तो बेसिकली बहुत सारे लोगों को प्रॉब्लम है कि यार क्या हो गया ऐसा कि हमको भी एनएसएस पढ़ना पड़ेगा, बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा। अगर आप समझेंगे तो कोर, इस सब्जेक्ट का जो कोर है, सीआरपीसी और बीएनएसएस, जिन लोगों ने पहले से पढ़ा हुआ है और जो अभी ऑब्वियस है जो पहली बार बीएनएसएस पढ़ रहे हैं, आप एक चीज समझ लीजिएगा, द ब्रॉडर स्केलेटन ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट हैज नॉट बीन subject to any change. So this law broadly is been rearranged in a systematic manner, we can say. Sections are no doubt has been number, section numbers has been changed, because if you see 1973 से लेके 2023 तक CRPC has witnessed so many amendments, due to which some new provisions are being incorporated, due to some guidelines some new sections were incorporated. What BNSS 2023 has done, it has streamlined all the provisions, and it has brought some new provisions or new clauses into the previous existing sections to cope up with the present situations. If you ask me that what is the broader changes this law has brought to us, so I will say not a bigger part, skeleton as such. There is no change into the jurisprudential approach of the act. It is somewhat similar, but obviously the nomenclature has been changed. The section numbers has been changed. Apart from this, not no bigger changes has been brought by this act. Now coming back to how we started, as we always do, before getting into the complete law, we try to understand why, the why factor. I can say why BNSS 2023. I can say jurisprudence of BNSS or CRPC. Obviously, CRPC is not there. But as I say, the jurisprudential essence or jurisprudential approach of the law has not come up to any change. So as we say, BNSS, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, is a part of procedural law. Basically, when I say why BNSS, I'm trying to pop up the question in your mind that why we need a procedural law. What is the need of the procedural law? The answer to this question lies in the very basic maxim, that is, you be just, you be remedial. And I say you be just, you be remedial. What I mean, where there is a right, there is a remedy. So when we say where there is a right, there is a remedy. That means when I say BNSS is a procedural part, the counter substantive part of the act is, the counter substantive part is BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sahita, which is used to be known as IP, see Indian Penal Code. Obviously, now law has changed and we are not discussing upon BNSS, BNS, so we are not focusing upon the provisional aspects or sectional aspects of the act. But if you see, BNS talks about the substantive rights. That means when I say it talks about substantive right, so obviously we live in a democratic form of country, and our fundamental rights or legal rights have been declared. And one of the very basic legal or fundamental right, that is right to life and liberty. And if anybody tries to curtail that right to liberty, the law give a protection to every individual. That is fundamental rights. Right to life and personal liberty should not be curtailed except by the procedure establishment. So when we see BNS IPC provides that substantive part of the right to life and liberty. That is, nobody should enter in your house and commit theft. Nobody should enter in your house without your permission. Nobody should try to cause you hurt. Nobody should do any wrong to the society. Because the state has promised, the existence of a state has come with a promise that all the persons, or I can say all the citizens of our states who has altogether created the institution of state has taken an oath from the state that they will protect their right, and that basic rights have been provided in the substantive. So we see in a criminal substantive right, IPC generally, though there are certain other laws also related to IPC, but broadly if you see, IPC talk about certain acts which are not considered to be right in the for the aspect of the society. Society considered them wrong, wrong against the society in large. For example, murder, theft, robbery, extortion, kidnapping, abduction, and so on. Then this substantive right says if you commit any of these acts, we will punish you. There is a specified punishment for the act which is not allowed by the law, which is known as offense. Now, when the right has been given, so if BNS is providing us that we protect you, we guarantee you that your basic rights as a part of a society will be protected by us. And if anybody tries to infringe those rights, we will provide a punishment called offense to them. To acts which are considered as offense by the society, the specified punishment is provided in substantive law. But again, mere providing the guarantee of punishment is not enough. That guarantee should come up with a process that should come up how if somebody tries to infringe those rights, how the state will provide the protection. What is the mechanism through which you can get your infringement of rights, or I can say you can get your substantive right enforced? So if someone has done some offense against you, or someone has done an act or omission which is considered as an offense against you, then what is the process through which you can seek the remedy or the punishment which the law provides them? The answer to the fact lies in BNSS, that is the procedural law. BNSS. When I say what is the purpose of BNSS, so we have to understand the double aspects. One aspect I have just discussed with you. That one aspect is to enforce the rights to stop the public nuisances. But another aspect is the person who has been under the acquisition that he is the person who is the culprit. He might be the culprit. He might be the person who has done this. That person also have fundamental rights, and that are also required to be protected. So when BNSS is the law, basically CRPC is the law which deal with these two aspects. The first aspect is to provide the process to enforce substantive rights, or I can say substantive law. The first aspect of CRPC, or we can say BNSS, is to protect the substantive law or to provide the process through which a substantive law can be enforced. And the other aspect is that while you are enforcing these substantive laws, the rights, the rights of accused and victim also. Because when we see BNSS, uh, the ideologically uh, criminal justice system, Indian criminal justice system is adversarial criminal justice system. It is more focusing upon protection of the rights of accused. But with the BNSS, we have a good or a tremendous shift towards the idea of protection of the rights of victims also. So we now can say that after BNSS, no doubt, we are still the adversarial justice system, tilting towards the concept of victimization or victimology. So I can say the rights of the accused and the victims to be protected. So it ensures even the rights of the witnesses also now. Even the rights of the witnesses are also been a part of the system. So what BNSS, if we say, try to understand the jurisprudential aspects of this law, what we called BNSS. तो दो एस्पेक्ट्स हैं यहाँ पे ब्रॉडली. पहला एस्पेक्ट है जो भी सब्सटेंटिव लॉज अवेलेबल है, पिनल सब्सटेंटिव लॉज अवेलेबल है, उनको राइटफुली प्रोसीजरल वे किस प्रोसेस से उसको इन्फोर्स किया जाए, वो कौन सी अथॉरिटीज होगी जहां उनको इन्फोर्स कराया जा सकता है. तो अगर आप ब्रॉड स्केलेटन ऑफ बीएनएसएस को समझने की कोशिश करेंगे तो बीएनएसएस का ब्रॉड स्केलेटन दो से तीन पार्ट में डिवाइडेड हो सकता है. पहला ब्रॉडर पार्ट जो है, तो वी कैन डिवाइड इन ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द आइडिया हाउ द बीएनएसएस विल वर्क. इसको हम दो बड़े ब्रॉडर एस्पेक्ट में बात कर सकते हैं. एक लार्जर पार्ट ऑफ द एक्ट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट वेयर टू फाइल कंप्लेंट, वेयर टू लॉज एफआईआर, what are the authorities, which courts where the complaint are to be instituted, the trial has to be done, what is the manner of doing the trial, what all precautions are to be taken while reducing the evidences, while doing the trial, and so on. This is one part. This part is totally focusing upon the manner or the procedure through which the substantive laws or penal substantive laws can be enforced. Whereas if you see the other part of the act, it is focusing upon the rights of accused, victim, and witness. The other part is saying if an accused person is arrested, what is the manner of arresting him? What all precautions to be taken while arresting a person so that his basic fundamental rights shall not be curtailed. If somebody is arrested, what all procedure like medical examination, going to the magistrate, putting him into a jail, manner of putting him into a jail, what all precautions are to be taken care of health and so on is to be taken. This is one part. Another part also, if you see, while the trials are going on, how the court makes sure that everything should happen in the presence of the accused and he should always have a right to defense so that he can put his part in front of the court. Thereafter, if you see, bail provisions are there. Then after, if you see, there is a another part which talk about victim compensation schemes, victim medical examinations, victim protection schemes, rights of the victims. We are discussing about that. BNSS is talking about an elaborated idea how to deal with the idea, this protections of victim, how victims' rights should not be curtailed, or I can say there should not be a secondary victimization of a person who has already been a subject to some victimization. And another very innovative thing which this act has brought into the light is the witnesses. So we have seen there is a history of a criminal justice system where we have seen that in high profile cases or highlighted cases or aggravated form of cases, we always see that witnesses become victims. So this new law, BNSS 2023, has also kept this idea in the mind, and they have tried to incorporate. They have very well incorporated the scheme of victim protection scheme. So one part is this. So one part is the substantive law enforcement. Another part is the uh, right of accused to victim and witness should get balanced as per the procedure established by law. And there is a third aspect of the act which is very, very important, which I will say is a substantive part of the procedural law. This is a unique factor of CRPC, which used to be a unique factor of CRPC, which is and the legacy has been taken or been continued by BNSS. The BNSS continues that legacy, that being a procedural law, it holds some provisions which have a substantive essence in that. So what I'm making you understand is there are certain provisions in BNSS which have a substantive nature also. तो we can bring out into the third part. तो अगर हम BNSS को डिवाइड करने की कोशिश करें तो BNSS को हम ब्रॉडली तीन पार्ट में डिवाइड कर सकते हैं. एक तो प्रोसीजरल पार्ट है. इस प्रोसीजरल पार्ट आई गेस सारा ही प्रोसीजरल पार्ट है. इसको हम कह सकते हैं एक तो पार्ट है जहां पे बात चल रही है एनफोर्समेंट ऑफ सब्सटेंटिव लॉ. तो आप सब्सटेंटिव लॉ को कैसे इन्फोर्स करेंगे, एक बात तो वहां चल रही है. उसका एक अदर पार्ट है जहां पे हम बात करें प्रोटेक्शंस कैसे करेंगे, प्रोटेक्शंस ऑफ राइट्स वाइल इन्फोर्सिंग द लॉ. तो जब आप लॉ इन्फोर्स करा रहे हैं, जब सब्सटेंटिव राइट्स को इन्फोर्स करा जा रहा है, तो एक्यूज्ड, विक्टिम एंड विटनेस, ये तीन, these are the three pillars of a criminal justice system which runs the complete trial. इनके राइट्स को किस तरीके से प्रोटेक्ट किया जाए कि इनके राइट्स का इन्फ्रिंजमेंट ड्यूरिंग दिस प्रोसेस ऑफ एनफोर्सिंग द सब्सटेंटिव राइट शुड नॉट बी अफेक्टेड. और एक तीसरा बड़ा ही इंपॉर्टेंट और इनोवेटिव है, दैट इज दिस एक्ट इटसेल्फ हैव सर्टेन substantive substantive provisions, and that is maintenance, if you see broadly, or security for peace. So these are the two. So earlier it was section 125 से लेके 127 maintenance, which is now turned out to be 144 से लेके 147, which is talking about that how the woman not woman, how any person can get maintenance from a person who is able to maintain himself and other, but failing to, or who is responsible to maintain other people, but he fails to maintain other people. But on the contrary, the other person who is required to be maintained is unable to maintain himself, then he can have the right of his protection enforced or maintenance get enforced through the process of law. This is known as process of maintenance. Same way, if you see security provisions, even the cases of security provision, section 105, if you see, or I can say 106, 107, 108 of CRPC, which is now turned out to be 1010, 11, 12, and so on. Okay. So BNSS, if you see BNSS का section 110 से लेके it goes up to 114, 15. You will find that for the purpose of maintaining peace, securities are being kept uh, as a kept from the accused by the executive magistrates. तो हम बीएनएसएस का अगर ब्रॉडली स्ट्रक्चर समझने की कोशिश करेंगे तो ये तीन ब्रॉडर एस्पेक्ट्स है और हम पूरी सीआरपीसी को इन तीन ब्रॉडर एस्पेक्ट्स पे ही पढ़ने वाले हैं. if you if you tries or if I can sum up, so I will sum up this process that if you try bring down the jurisprudential aspects of BNSS. So I come back to this the first line which I have written. You be remedial. That where there is a right, there is a remedy. And BNSS completes these maxims by providing the process through which these remedies can be enforced. And while enforcing these remedies, BNSS also take care that whosoever are involved, the process of enforcing the remedy, their rights shall not be curtailed. With this broad idea, basically, we'll enter into the BNSS. As we discussed, what BNSS, or which used to be CRPC is now BNSS, came in force on 1st July 2023, contains chapters, 39 chapters. So we have 39 chapters now. We have 531 sections now and schedule 2. So is the present, obviously, the older CRPC were having 484 sections. So 531 sections. So there's a marginal difference of 50 to 60 sections. But these 40, 50 sections, though this counting is very high, it seems to be like there is drastic change in problem. But try to understand what used to be 41A, B, C, D, and a 57A, B, C, and so many other sections A, B, C, plea bargain, maybe have 365A, B, C. All these A, B, C sections have now been removed, and that is the reason why you will see the very marginal rise into the section numbers. That does not mean that there are being incorporated data. There are certain changes, but not to a level that if we see the section number, we try to misconcept. We developed a misconcept. There is a substantial change in the law, not a substantial change in the law, though there are sectional changes. Uh, when we go into this is my first lecture. And obviously, as we always do, we do not start the class with the first lecture. Uh, Try to understand every possible scenario, or we'll try to overall understand the overall subject. The overall, the subject is this, and in the next class, we'll start with fresh topic. But generally, if you ask me, though I will keep on adding to this, but broadly, if you start, how I will start to uh, as I have discussed in this video early in the video, starting that we'll keep this as if we are doing a class. But obviously, like class, you cannot the video of 2 hours or 3 hours. And to it, generally, video should not go extreme 30 minutes or 45 minutes. But I will try to incorporate 45 or 1 hour into the video. So obviously, when it's 1 hour and we are talking about BNSS, so obviously I will take some good number of classes So if you ask me how many hours I will take, it will go 90 to 95 hours. So obviously, if it's a 1 hour class, so obviously 90 to 95 video lectures are going to be uploaded regarding to the BNSS. And if you ask me the topics which we are going to cover, so obviously I'm not going to make you discuss all the topics, but broadly starting few topics, I can make you understand how we will go. टॉपिक्स अगर आप देखेंगे तो पहला टॉपिक है jurisprudence of CRPC, or we can say BNSS. So this is we have already done. Dictation part I will be not doing, as doing dictation in CRPC on YouTube is not feasible. But yes, if anybody from my student, you being at Zia Judicial, is need any special subject topic to be dictated, I can make a special audio or video lecture and sending to that part to you, especially related to the dictation part. So we will not be putting that part onto the YouTube. So that is a one request, that if you need any topic to be uh, dictated by me, especially, you can ask me, drop me a message, and I will tell you how to have the dictation. I might send you the PDF also of a particular dictation that can be done also. The first topic broadly will do jurisprudence of BNSS. We have already done that, jurisprudence of the BNSS. Second topic is the constitution of criminal codes along with preamble. Basically, preamble is a part of jurisprudence only. So once we're done with the jurisprudence, we'll enter into the idea of constitution of criminal code plus powers of criminal code to punish. Power of criminal codes to punish. Thereafter, we'll do the basic ideas, that is concept of committal, concept of submission, what are the inherent powers, idea of inherent powers. Okay. What nature of the offenses covered by BNSS: cognizable offense, non-cognizable offense, bailable offense, non-bailable offenses. We will try to understand the different stages of criminal justice system. What do you mean by inquiry? What do you mean by trial? What do you mean by investigation? What are the correlations between these three things? How you will determine at what stage what is happening? What are the what all is covered at the stage of inquiry? What all is covered at the stage of trial, investigation, and so on, and thereafter. This is the broadly we are going to done with. So as this is our first lecture, and we have tried to introduce the subject to you, and obviously one small factor, small point which I want to cover here, so that in the next class we can directly move into the idea of classes of criminal courts and their power to punish. Before this, we have already done jurisprudence part, and along with jurisprudence part, I want to discuss a little bit of the preamble of BNSS. Obviously, we will keep our comparative studies also of BNSS and CRPC. So when we talk about preamble part of BNSS and CRPC, so let us understand the preamble part of BNSS and CRPC and try to find out, first of all, is there any change into the present law and the older law? If you see Bharatiya Nagrik Surakshha Samhita 2023 Act number 46 says an act to consolidate and amend the law relating to criminal procedure. If you see the older act 1974, no change, तो preamble में कोई भी change नहीं है, no change in the preamble. If you see the preamble of BNSS is no change. In CRPC 1973 also, the preamble read as an act to consolidate and amend the law relating to the criminal procedure. An act to consolidate and amend the law relating to criminal procedure. So no change. As we know, preamble is a key to any act. Preamble gives an idea how the act is going to behave or what is the purpose of bringing this act into the force or what is the aim of this and objective of this act. So as the BNSS and CRPC's preamble have no change, so what was the aim and objective of the CRPC is the aim and objective of the BNSS. If you see, the act says an act to consolidate and amend. Very important. An act to consolidate and the law relating to criminal procedure. We'll come to that. Law relating to criminal procedure. As the preamble says consolidate and amend. What do you mean by the word consolidate? Consolidate basically means something is already scattered in different forms. They are trying to bring that together. So basically, BNS is what they are saying to understand. They are not saying consolidate, amend, and define. They are bringing consolidate and amend. Amend means to do to something new, changes, new or changes. So what basically BNS is saying, that there are certain scattered provisions. There are some scattered positions all over there which relate to criminal procedure. What we have done, we have tightened them into a one compartment. We have tightened them in a one compartment in an organized manner, and we have bring certain changes also so that this compartment remain intact. So these changes are basically when BNS is saying, they are saying that act when the preamble uses the word consolidate and amend, it means the act is not exhaustive. So basically, BNSS is not exhaustive. तो बीएनएसएस जो है वो एग्जॉस्टिव लॉ नहीं है क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर पे. When I say it is not exhaustive upon criminal procedure, what I'm making understand, जहां पे जिस एक्ट के अंदर कभी भी किसी भी एक्ट के प्रियम्बल में अगर कंसोलिडेट एंड अमेंड वर्ड यूज किया है, इसका पहला मतलब तो ये कि कुछ स्कैटर्ड प्रोविजन है उनको एक साथ इंटैक्ट किया है और उसको एक नया नक्शा, नया प्रोविजन, एक नया फेस दे दिया है. बट दैट डज नॉट मीन दैट लॉ इज exhaustive. Law is not exhaustive. तो जहां पे कंसोलिडेटेड अमेंड वर्ड जनरली आ जाता है, वो बेसिकली हमेशा आता है. तो वर्ड कंसोलिडेटेड अमेंड गिव एन आइडिया दैट दो दिस एक्ट डील्स विद द प्रोसीजर provisions, but they are not exhaustive in nature. So when preamble of BNS is saying consolidate and amend law related to the criminal procedure, they are giving us the idea that we have intacted the provisions, how the criminal law will proceed. And we have given them a new face them also. We have bring a harmony to them. but it does not mean that they are the only sole provisions. तो basically if you see BNSS, मैं अपनी इस बात को अगर प्रूव करने की कोशिश करूं कि अगर आप मुझसे पूछे कि सर ऐसे कैसे सीआरपीसी और बीएनएसएस अगर क्रिमिनल लॉ का एग्जॉस्टिव नेचर डिसाइड नहीं करते हैं और वो एग्जॉस्टिव नहीं है अपने आप में, तो फिर कौन सा लॉ है जो एग्जॉस्टिव है बेसिकली, और फिर क्या आप हो ना, वी कैन चैलेंज दिस, यू कैन चैलेंज माय credibility on this part, and this is my responsibility to prove that. I can prove that CRPC is not exhaustive upon the criminal procedure. It is given in CRPC, not in the preamble. Preamble is the what I am making you understand. This is my interpretation, which is I'm putting forward to you, but my interpretation is correct. How to prove that? How we can prove that the interpretation which is done by me is correct? So if you see, let us check, let us test. So when you test, let's see section number 4 of BNSS. They are saying, I'm reading section 4 and thereafter I will read section 5. So if you see section 4 and section 5, these two sections together of BNSS will prove our claim that the BNSS is not exhaustive upon the law. And thereafter, I will give you the example also of the same. But first of all, let us understand. They are saying, section 4, they are saying all offenses under Indian Penal Code shall be investigated, inquired into, or I can say, so section 4 of BNSS, all offenses under Bharatiya Nyaya Sahita, that is IPC, 2023 shall be investigated, inquired into, tried, and otherwise dealt according to the provisions hereafter contained. Firstly, तो सेक्शन 4 का सबसेक्शन 1 is saying to us कि BNS BNS, or I can say BNSS, is completely BNSS is completely applicable to BNS. तो BNS में जो लॉज दे रखे हैं सेक्शन 4 का सबसेक्शन 1 कहता है उस पे तो कंप्लीटली 100% एप्लीकेबल है. दिस इज द फर्स्ट क्लिप जो हम बोलते हैं कि कंसोलिडेट किया और उसको एक कंपार्टमेंट में रख दिया है, वाटर टाइट फॉर्मूला में रख दिया है रिगार्डिंग सर्टेन थॉट्स. वो वो सर्टेन वाटर टाइट कंपार्टमेंट बीएनएसएस पे तो 100% अप्लाई होता है. तो आई कैन से सीआरपीसी इज कंप्लीटली एप्लीकेबल टू आईपीसी, exhaustively applicable to IPC, or I can say BNSS is exhaustively applicable to BNS. This is the one part. But as I says, it is not exhaustive regarding the criminal procedure. क्योंकि preamble हमारा कह रहा है कि consolidate and amend law act related to criminal procedure or law related to criminal procedure. तो 4.1 तो बोल रहा है ये जो criminal procedure with regard to IPC और BNS है उसके लिए तो exhaustive है. But if you do the second subsection 2 of section 4, they are saying all offenses under any other law shall be investigated, inquired into, tried, and otherwise dealt with according to the same provisions, but subject to any enactment for time being in force, regulating the manner or place of investigation, inquiring into, trying, or otherwise dealing with such offenses. They are saying other laws. Other laws में वो बोल रहे हैं BNS plus special provision shall apply. What does it mean? सेक्शन 4 का सब सेक्शन 2 कह रहा है कि भारतीय नागरिक सुरक्षा संहिता बीएनएस पे तो लगेगी कंप्लीटली, बट जो अदर लॉज है, जो स्पेशल लॉज है, उस पर भी लगेगी, बल्कि कंप्लीटली नहीं लगेगी, विद द इम्प्रूवमेंट्स। तो व्हाट आई मेकिंग यू अंडरस्टैंड कि अगर कोई स्पेशल लॉज है और कोई लोकल लॉ है और वहां पे कोई अलग से क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर दे रखा है रिगार्डिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर एक्ट और दैट पर्टिकुलर ऑफेंस, तो फिर बीएनएसएस ना लग के वो प्रोविजन लगेगा। बट अगर उस लॉ में वो प्रोविजन नहीं रखा है तब बीएनएसएस लगेगा। दैट मीन्स इट, पहला एग्जांपल क्लियर हो गया कि बीएनएस इज नॉट एग्जॉस्टिव अपॉन क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर। तो अगर आप देखेंगे फॉर एग्जांपल पॉक्सो, तो पॉक्सो में स्टेटमेंट, अगर आप देखेंगे statements of confessional statements are recorded as per the provision of BNSS. But POXCO provides a different manner of recording them. तो पॉक्सो केसेस में फिर बीएनएसएस का प्रोविजन फॉलो नहीं करते, पॉक्सको के प्रोविजंस को फॉलो करते हैं और उसमें जो प्रोसेस दे रखा है उसको फॉलो करेंगे। ये एक एग्जांपल है। Another example is Juvenile Justice Act also. Motor Vehicle Act also is an example, which provides a different formats of trial and so on. Special laws are there, for example, gangsters acts are there, NDPS is there, local NDPS Act is there. There are so many. Makoka, which is now not in force, PMA, PLMA, UAPA, and so on. There are, which provides a special provision, which provide a special mechanism of investigation, which provide a special mechanism of inquiry and trial. तो फिर वहां BNSS नहीं लगे। तो पहला हमारा जो क्लेम था, हमने सेक्शन 4 के थ्रू ये बात प्रूव कर दिया विद इन द लॉ, which is clear that BNS is not exhaustive upon criminal law। एक चीज तो क्लियर हो गया। Another is, if you see, section 5 also proofs are clear or goes in our favor। What they say, nothing contained in this Sanhita shall, in the in the absence of specific provisions to the contrary, affect any special or local law for the time being in force, or any special jurisdiction or power conferred to any special form of procedure prescribed by any other law for the time being in force. That is, they are saying BNSS will not affect the process and provisions of special or local laws dealing with criminal procedure। That is, अगर कहीं पर बीएनएसएस से कंट्ररी, अगेंस्ट, I will not say against, differently, if there are certain special laws or local laws which are dealing differently and they are not in consonance to the provisions of BNSS, then in such situation, in such scenarios, the special laws or local laws will prevail over the BNSS. As we know, special laws or local laws prevails over the general laws. Here also, BNSS take a dominant position with regard to the special or local laws. Section 5 make a declaration. So if you see what I have discussed in preamble is proved through section 4 and section 5 of BNSS, and thereby we conclude that the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sahita, which provides the procedure or which provide the procedural law or which provide the criminal procedural law, is not exhaustive with regard to the provisions which are given or which are incorporated in it. They might be applicable to their fullest in the cases of PNS or IPC, but where there are certain special laws, local laws, special provisions, which is given in some other way, then in such scenarios or in such situations, the special laws or local laws procedure is to be followed, and the general principles of BNSS will take a dominant position. So this is our first class, and this is general understanding of BNSS, Bharati Nagrik Suraksha Samhita. As we discussed, this is our first class. I will keep uploading the videos. Uh, I will try to be uploading it regularly, but I'm not promising. It might be the gap. It might occur 1 day or 2 day gap in between, but I will try. This will not happen. And this is our first lecture. In the next lecture, we'll try to understand the classes of criminal courts and the constitutions of criminal court. टिल देन आप ये अपलोड होगा हर रोज शाम को 6 से 7 के बीच में ये अपलोड हो जाया करेगा, और आपको इसका एक्सेस रहेगा, बट आपको यूट्यूब चैनल को फॉलो अप एंड सब्सक्राइब करके रखना है ताकि आपको नोटिफिकेशंस आते रहें, बिकॉज आई कैन नॉट सेंड एवरी पर्सन द नोटिफिकेशन ऑफ द वीडियो इंडिविजुअली. तो अगर आपके पास पहुंच गया नोटिफिकेशन, तो मेक श्योर यू इन्फॉर्म योर फ्रेंड्स ऑल्सो कि सर हैज स्टार्ट अपलोडिंग द वीडियोस ऑफ पीएनएसएस, ताकि सारे लोग आके उसको देखना शुरू कर दें, तो जो इनकन्वीनियंस कॉज हो रहा है सबको वो खत्म हो जाए. चलिए, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर द क्लासेस. सी यू टुमारो in the evening, basically 6 to 7, the video will be uploaded. Thank you very much. Mhm. Mhm.